Hey gang, how are you doing? I trust this finds you well. You know, they say alichon lingenandaba. The sun doesn't go down without the news. Now, breaking news here is that Chidimma's story is coming up once again. That apparently a criminal activity may have been perpetrated 23 years ago by the person who registered as a mother in the Home Affairs. Now, obviously, I have to do a video like this because I have steadfastly told you that as the things currently stand, based on the information that is at our disposal, she is a South African if her mother is a South African and so also was born in South Africa. But it appears as though that information that we have been bombarded with from Miss South Africa pageant, as well as other prolific individuals in our society like Chidimma Adetshina, it appears as though that information has no basis in fact. Listen to this.
In this news just in, there's been yet another twist in the ongoing citizenship furor of Miss South Africa contestant Chidima Adetshina. Home Affairs says prima facie reasons exist to believe that fraud and identity theft may have been committed by the person recorded in Home Affairs' records as Chidima Adetshina's mother 23 years ago. However, the Miss SA contestant is absolved as she was an infant at the time the activities allegedly took place in 2001. The department instituted a probe following a request from the organizers of the pageant. Officials are now planning to press criminal charges against all implicated parties once investigations are completed.
So basically, the story that you just heard in a video format is also reported by News 24. Home Affairs Department probe finds mom of Miss South Africa contestant may have committed identity theft. The Department of Home Affairs says its investigation so far has found that the mother of Miss SA contestant Chidimma Adetshina may have stolen someone's identity. Prima facie reasons exist to believe that fraud and identity theft may have been committed by the persons recorded in Home Affairs records as Chidimma Adetshina's mother, the department said in a statement on Wednesday night. However, the department added that Adetshina could not have participated in the alleged unlawful actions of her mother because she was an infant in 2001. Indeed, an innocent South African mother whose identity may have been stolen as part of the alleged fraud committed by Adetshina's mother suffered as a result because she could not register her child. Can you imagine that? Adetshina's participation in the pageant was met with a backlash when some people learned that her father was Nigerian. It caused division among many, with some saying she was not suitable to represent the country, while others argued that because she was born in South Africa, it made her a legitimate citizen. Obviously, I'm one of those who said that it made her a legitimate citizen based on the fact, on the information given to us that she was born in South Africa. Little did we know, but if you go back to my first video, you can't miss that I specifically said if it is established that indeed the Home Affairs process establishes that indeed her mother is a South African by following due process, then obviously she's a South African. But now this changes. This is a game changer. It changes all of that, right? We've got to applaud those South Africans whom have been called xenophobic for their gut feeling and following their gut feeling steadfastly. It's clear that for me, if this indicates anything, it indicates the following, or it demonstrates the following. When someone has a point of view contrary to yours, do not call them names. Okay? To call people xenophobic simply because they've taken a different posture or a different position, why don't you hear them out and investigate and get to the bottom of the matter? That's all that which was required here, which I indicated in my last video, because I've already done 2 videos on this subject. I've indicated in my last video all what is required instead of Gaten Mackenzie talking about this publicly is to speak to his counterpart, which is, I think it's Dion or Leon Schreiber, the minister, Dr. Leon Schreiber, who's the minister at Home Affairs. And clearly they have done that, and now they are giving us this preliminary report. and hopefully that ENCA as well as News 24 are giving us now factual information. That as it may, then it means the individuals that have this uproar, and the uproar obviously was raised by red flags, because generally, as I have said in the last video, generally Nigerians are people who are known for practicing lawlessness, and be very arrogant about it, right? And so that's where the red flags would have come in. However, I went further to indicate that arrogance and all these negative attributes that they exude are not only exclusive to them. South Africans share the same traits. It's important for us to note that I think the take home here is, when an individual is raising an issue, we've got to hear them out. As Stephen Covey says in The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, seek first to understand before seeking to be understood. Hopefully we learn a lesson as a country to say, when a group of people are coming up with a position and a point of view, it is important for us to get to the bottom of that and rather dispel it publicly, having performed the necessary investigation, of course, if it is cost effective to do so. I had indicated in the last video, it wouldn't take 8 hours to perform an audit on this Chidima story. So, well, here are the preliminary results coming out that someone's identity was stolen by her mother to register the child, and so which then means that Chidima's mother is not a South African. And if Chidima's mother is not a South African, Chidima could not be a South African. She's going to have to be kicked out of the pageant. And you know what? I think then we can now go ahead and recommend that all IDs must literally be checked. People like Chirwa that have come out publicly speaking against this and accusing all manner of people to be xenophobic, yet they themselves are children of migrant mothers. We need to get to the bottom of that. And people who have been raised by single mothers whose fathers cannot be traced, like Julius Malema and all these other individuals. Perhaps it's high time, who are so much in love with foreigners and are willing to put foreigners' interest ahead of South Africans. I'm talking about illegal foreigners ahead of South Africans. Perhaps it's high time that all the genesis in our country should be thoroughly investigated so that we have a peace of mind. How is it that you had this group of individuals being in the forefront to legitimize Chidima without necessarily, how can I say, waiting for the process to unfold to its logical conclusion? But to the defense of Juju, he didn't open up his mouth during this time. We don't know if Chirwa was sent by him. We would want to think that that is not the case, because Chirwa is an independent individual. And even if it was, we do not know that to be the case. But perhaps it's a good idea to say, we've got so many IDs that have been cloned, that have been identity documents that have been stolen. It's necessary right now to establish who's who in the zoo, where were they born, and so on and so forth, who's their mother, who's their father. We need to clean up. Mackenzie was right all along in terms of Mabahambe, talking about illegal migrants. Remember, Mackenzie is pro foreigners coming to our country. It's a misrepresentation of facts to suggest that Mackenzie is anti-foreigners. He is not xenophobic. It cannot be said to be xenophobic if you are saying we welcome foreigners for as long as they come legally, and those whose first act in our country is illegitimate by coming here illegally, how much more other illegal activities will they be willing to do? No wonder we have such a high crime rate in our country. I am not excusing South Africans for committing crime, but it also explains a lot of things, because there's a lot of crime in this country and there's a lot of individuals who are in this country illegally that I've even myself have come across in my own individual life. Nevertheless, guys, that's a story that's making news, and I thought it necessary to do this video. It's a third video that I'm doing on Chidima, but this one is absolutely necessary as much as the first one was necessary. It's necessary because it also would demonstrate to you the type of a person that I am, that when I talk on a matter, I base my discussion or dialogue or discourse on the facts that are available in the public domain to the best of the information that we have at our disposal. If it turns out that a beauty pageant did not do its due diligence, a beauty pageant brand did not do its due diligence, then that's quite embarrassing to that entity. We can only be embarrassed as those who made videos based on the information supplied by that entity if we do not change our stance now that new information has come to the fore. That's very important for my person, for my reputation as an individual, for you also to know that the things that I report to you are not just gossip mongering, but they are factually based. Okay? Now, these are the latest news which we have heard on this matter. Very embarrassing. However, it did prevent us from the eventuality of having a foreigner being crowned Miss South Africa. Okay, let me love you and leave you. Ciao, ciao. See you in the next video. Bye for now. You can comment down below and tell me what you think about it. Bye for now.